Hey everybody, welcome to the Amalgam Games Lab. I'm your host Shannon Haegler alongside Keena Johnson.
That's me.
Hello. Ooh, in video. Look at that.
Yeah, for the first time since last time.
Good. This is the show where we talk about the gaming industry at large, just games in general. But before we get stuck in, of course, housekeeping as per usual. Amalgam show later on this week where we talk about pop culture. I may or may not be on it. It will depend on timing. We're all doing it all in one day.
Click to find out.
Yeah. Support us on Patreon, patreon.com/amalgam show, where you can find Amalgam Archaeology. We need to do another episode of those, but we'll find time. If you have any questions for the show, please comment below or email us at amalgamshow@gmail.com. And yes, we understand we are still echoey. We are working out the kinks.
Yeah.
This is a longer process because we all have other lives.
And no money.
Yeah, but we'll get there. If you enjoyed it, please leave a like and subscribe. It's been a few weeks.
Yeah, quite a few.
But nothing's happened. It's been like a lot of nothing.
Nothing announced. Well, I was going to say it's not like the next console was announced, but
kind of.
But then some COO or something says like, we are working on the PlayStation 5. And we're like, yeah, we all knew that.
Yeah, we knew
Thanks for confirming to the New York Times. The one time they're into gaming, they're like, it's because we have the biggest scoop of all time.
Yeah, I feel like
over your shit.
I feel like we've talked about the next generation of consoles on this show a lot, but having confirmation out there at least lets people know. It looks like they said like we're using the next 3 years to ramp up, so it looks like we're looking at 2021. Only concerns that I've heard about this is with PlayStation saying, hey, we're doing this and we're using X amount of years to get ready for it, whether that leaves Xbox in the position to do what they did with the 360 and launch 1 year earlier.
Yeah. But there was also the Xbox One X, which they might be willing to pull an original Xbox and just
kill. Yeah.
Yeah, in terms of just eat money on it. Like there was such Xbox original was a 4-year turnaround. Yeah. And then they just ate money, launched the next one a year ahead. But my point is that like the Xbox One X, it came out a year after the Pro, so you would think that there would be a longer
tail on it.
But if they're willing to just eat shit on it, move to the next one.
Which I think is a really bad idea because that console is $700. Like it's that's a big It's also a bit of a. In this day and age, it's a little bit more difficult to slap your customers in the face like that. Yeah. To say like, hey, that giant thing that you just bought, fuck you, go to hell. Yeah. So we'll see how that works. Yeah. But the one that was more interesting in terms of that is the possible Switch XL to Switch
Lite.
Switch whatever.
Switch Pro, Switch X, S,
XS. Switch Edge. I don't know. Who knows?
That's kind of what I want, though.
The screen depletes the edge. Yeah,
that's like for some reason that's been bugging me both on my phone and my Switch lately. Like, what if the screen went to the entire edge? So I'm looking at a Pixel 3 XL.
I like having a little bit of a border. Yeah, like just a little bit, like this one here, like with the Galaxy Note. The screen goes right to the edge on the edges, but there's like a little bit of a border on the top and the bottom. I like that because it means that when I'm up here, I know that I'm not touching it and stuff like that.
Mine's like a little bit too much of a gap, but
but that's a thing.
Switch, that was inevitable. The 3DS, there's so many DSs and 3DSs,
and not just that, but the modular nature of the Switch allows for so many iterations, like so many different types of versions of this thing over the next few years. It feels like maybe it's a little soon. Like it is only like if it hits 2019, that is only 2 years after launch. It feels like it might be a little bit of the numbers coming out of 2017 projected that this thing was going to dominate the market. It has so far. The projected numbers were looking at things like outselling the Wii.
Yeah, which has always been crazy to me.
Which I don't think it necessarily will do at this point now. I was intrigued at the possibility of the Switch outdoing the Wii because I think it's doable, but looking at the pre-order numbers for things like Pokemon and them not really moving that much makes me feel like the Switch might just be hitting its lull. Not necessarily that it's dying, but that it's like hitting its plateau.
I think, besides Pokemon and Smash, which are big games, I think it is like there hasn't been a Zelda or a Mario, like nothing super huge.
Yeah, I mean, if this was the main series Pokemon game this year, that would be a different story. But that's coming next year.
Yeah,
I wouldn't be surprised. Like, but then there's that too. Like the idea of having a different Switch that could possibly have a smaller price point.
Yeah.
In time for the new Pokemon game. That obviously
probably going to happen.
Yeah.
Probably what they're edging towards.
And it remains to be seen though as to whether or not they're going to go. Because they can go two ways on it. They can either create a more powerful version of the Switch or a better looking version and drop the price point on the current Switch hardware, which I don't see Nintendo doing. I see them doing...
They're usually like replacing.
But they're usually doing the other thing, which is this is a stripped down cheaper version of the Switch, which we're going to sell for a cheaper price point. They tend to go that way.
Yeah.
Rather than selling a premium version.
Yeah, the 3DS skipped that, went straight to the XL though, didn't it?
Well, the 3DS and the 3DS XL, then they had the new 3DS.
Yeah, but that was beefier.
But then they had the 2DS in there. That's kind of what I'm thinking here. It's like not a Switch XL, but like a
Switch
two
Lite.
Switch whatever, like just a smaller Switch Lite. Yeah, like a smaller version, or maybe not a smaller version, but maybe like I've said before, one where the Joy-Cons are strapped on and you can't take them off.
Which. Yeah, I don't think you could do that anymore with games like Mario Party. And
I think you can. Yeah. It's just that it would be a situation where it would be like, cool, you buy the Switch Lite or whatever they want to call it. The Joy-Cons are strapped on, and the thing is, you would get those customers on the accessory sales. You have to buy an extra set of Joy-Cons with this one if you want to play these games. Yeah, which is not unheard of, like
especially for Nintendo.
Exactly, like you'd buy a bunch of periphery shit for Nintendo games all the time, so it's not outside of the realm of possibility. And I would think that would make sense. I would also think that like that would mean that the Switch would be like whatever version this is would be made of like a cheaper plastic and a cheaper screen, and
apparently the screen is going to be better. Like it's going to be the next LCD screen. Not OLED yet, but
stuff that's in current phones. The kind of general consensus I heard coming out of that was that you can put sometimes it's better to do a better screen or a better part in a thing if that part is the most used part, because it's cheaper to order parts that everyone else is using. Whereas if you have to make an older part and have to purchase stuff that's no one's using, it has to be made for you, it's a bit more expensive. So sometimes it's actually better for a company to do better stuff rather than doing shittier stuff. So we'll see how they work on that. Again, no confirmation, just kind of like it's possible.
Yeah, it's inevitable.
It's inevitable, just when. The timeline of like 2019 seemed just a little early in my mind, but when I think about Pokemon coming out next year, it actually makes more sense.
Do you know how long it took for the DS Lite to come out after the original DS?
That is a good question. I'm not sure.
I wish we don't have internet down here very effectively, so it's hard to look up things on the fly.
Not great internet, but let's find out.
We have like half a bar of signal down here.
DS2.
Yeah, because that's the thing. Like, I know the DS wasn't doing great when it first came out, and then the DS Lite made that thing like super successful. That's I almost bought another one because the pink DS looks really good.
Yeah.
To the point where like I wish like Pixel would have like a pink variant color, but they don't have the cool blue one instead, which we don't get in Australia because we're second world citizens according to tech companies. Vamping's hard when you have no one to vamp off.
What?
DS Lite.
Yeah.
Second best console of all time. Behind PS2 and the GBA SP.
Let me see. Original awesome. DS launch. I'm actually getting decent signal down here, so this is handy. So, the original DS launched on November the 21st, 2004, and the DS Lite launched in 2006, March.
So 18 months, was it? Or 2 years? I missed the month.
November 2004 to March 2006, so about 18 months. Yeah.
So it's a little bit later than that. But then again, like, I get that. Because in terms of the handheld market, it is very weird because this is a hybrid. Because people use it for different things. Like, I do use it as a hybrid.
Yes,
some people just use it as a console.
Some people just use it as a handheld.
So it's like this weird, murky territory. But even like normal slimmings of like the PS3 Slim and even the PS4 Slim usually take about 3 years before that happens.
It looks like the launch for the Lite coincided with Metroid Prime Hunters.
Okay.
Because
Legendary
there was
Metroid game.
yeah, fucking yeah. But that would make sense. Like again, it makes sense that like if the current time frame is 2019, it would make sense that a slightly cheaper version of the Switch may launch alongside a Pokemon game.
Yeah. Or like just before, and then the bundles come in hot around what's that month? Black Friday sales. Which is exactly what they're going.
I mean,
for
the launch will be November. Yeah,
and also there's a new Animal Crossing game which gets even more casual.
Yeah.
I'm thinking the start of next year, but people seem to be putting it mid-year. But
I would put it late, like mid to late.
Really?
I would think that they would launch that September, October, like the time that you would launch. I would suspect it would be a similar launch date to Super Mario Party because it's not a game for gamers. It's the casual game.
Yeah.
So they're not looking like currently as the way it stands right now, you have a couple of big game releases in the holiday season between September to November. And the rest of the gaming industry tends to put their like hardcore games at the start of the year.
Yeah.
Games for gamers, like games for people who are super into these franchises, they tend to be at the start of the year.
Yeah.
So, looking at a game like Animal Crossing, you want to hit both sides of the market, which launching early September would make sense because it means that your hardcore gamers are like, yeah, absolutely, I'll do that. But it also means that it's close enough to Black Friday, Christmas time that there are people out there like, oh, I'll get that for so-and-so for Christmas. Or I'll ask for that for Christmas from my parents or whatever. So it kind of hits that nice middle point.
Very Spider-Man.
Yes, very Spider-Man.
Yeah. I don't know. Animal Crossing to me has always felt like a February, March, April game, but I guess I don't know. I think we haven't known enough about it. And the other thing that there's no other games, Nintendo games coming out in that time period. Like we don't know what comes out after Smash, do we? I know Yoshi's on the horizon.
Yoshi's on the horizon. Another Kirby.
There's nothing AAA for the Switch.
I don't think there needs to be because they're banking on Nintendo and indies.
Yeah.
The indie output on the Switch is just so fucking incredible that it just consistently, and not just indies but third parties in general. Yeah. Like yesterday morning before I went to work, I bought Valkyria Chronicles on the Switch because it was on and I was like, oh fuck, I never finished that game and I fucking love it. I picked that up.
Yeah, I think that's a good game. There's like Diablo 3 is coming, which is probably how I'll play that game for the first time.
Yeah.
I have friends that are super into Divinity's
Original Sin?
Yeah, Original Sin 2, and that's coming to the Switch. There's no a proper announcement. There was like a forum post like, it's coming eventually. Yeah. And that seems like a great way to play that game because it is. Because super long isometric RPGs seem, for me, very handheld experience, which is why I'm excited, again, for the Final Fantasy games to come. Not isometric, but RPGs long that are...
Yeah. Something that you can play on the go.
And then if I want the nice 1080p version, bop, there it is.
Yeah, I mean, the thing with those games is that I think the older the game is, the better it's suited for the Switch because of basically text-based stuff. Yeah. For me, when it comes to a handheld, I don't want to have the sound on. I want to play it in silent. I don't want to have like a, So
that's why the PSP is probably the greatest JRPG machine of all time.
Yeah. So old games when Final Fantasy 7 and 9 eventually do come to the Switch, I will be picking those up. They are going to be digital download only. Yeah. That has been confirmed.
Cool. Do you know about 10 and 10 2?
No, all of them. All of the Final Fantasy releases, as far as I know, at this point, are digital. Yeah. They are not going to be released on a Switch cartridge. I get the feeling that might be specifically for 10 to 12 might be a space thing. Maybe with like the HD textures and all that kind of stuff might be a space saver, and then by looking at that going, well, we can't do these ones on the cartridge, so then by proxy just don't do any of them. 7 and 9 could fit on a cartridge easy, but they're already downloadable in every other context, so fucking just throw them onto the shop. They'll go like gangbusters. If there was
a collection, if there was like a $70-$80 collection, just get them on. I was going to say cartridge, but that's still the same issue. But like, that would be a nice way for a collector, for me, to get them.
I mean, there might be something. Well, I think I was looking at the Switch store when I bought Valkyria Chronicles, and they actually had a thing there that I was like, ooh, because it says that you get 25% off this game if you already own Valkyria Chronicles 4. Yeah. And I was like, okay, that's a cool way of doing it. So I'll bet if you purchase one of the Final Fantasies, you'll get some sort of discount along the subsequent ones as well.
Bayonetta has a similar thing where if you buy the digital versions of either Bayonetta 1 or 2, you get a discount on either. But if you buy it at retail, you get the first game for free by Bayonetta 2.
Yeah, so they'll do something like that.
That's a good point.
I'm still bummed that 8's not in part of that collection. Because if 8 was part of it, I would buy a full collection.
Yeah.
But if it's not, then
Yeah.
I'll pick them up when I can be bothered. Let's get into the real
Other news.
news.
Concrete news.
Eh,
Oh, it's more concrete.
concrete news in a concrete box.
Haha, that's the new name of the show. Yeah.
Rockstar, hey?
What a fucking shit show. From every angle, besides the fact that, oh, this game looks really good, everything else about their PR cycle has been a nightmare. They haven't released a game in 5 years and their PR people are a little bit out of practice.
They have no idea what they're doing. There's a part of me that... You know when something's so popular and you just kind of hate it for that?
I used to be like that, then I got over that.
I don't tend to do it very often. There are very few things in the world that actually do that to me.
Yeah.
Fortnite is one of them.
Yeah.
Where like it's so popular, I fucking hate it.
Yeah.
The way Red Dead is talked about just irks me.
Yeah.
Because, and it's almost every outlet is the problem, is that they do the dichotomy between the two, which is this game is fucking incredible. Also, there are some really bad labor practices.
Yeah.
And I feel like you need to... I don't know. I feel like we've been in this wishy-washy sort of like, whoa, car, you probably hear that.
Probably.
Ooh, the downside of filming in a garage.
Yep.
Yeah.
Doesn't happen too often, but yeah.
That's all right. I feel like we've been straddling this this divide for way too long, where the games industry says this game was made with some really shoddy practices, but it's fantastic. And the problem with that is that even if you do that currently trendy thing of acknowledging the flaws in your thing and then tell how good it is, you are still at some base level encouraging people to buy that thing. And as long as they buy that thing, that company that was doing the shoddy practices will continue to get the money for that thing, which means they are incentivized to continue doing the shitty thing.
Yes.
And that is the impasse I've hit with Red Dead Redemption 2 of like, we know they're shitty about this until they come out and give me a proper concrete like, oh yeah, no, we don't do that anymore. Like it's only a couple people who do it. Here are the numbers or whatever. My inclination is don't buy that fucking game.
Yeah.
Like, I know it's great. I know it's incredible. I know you want it, but give your money to a developer who's creating an open world game with some fucking decent practices behind them. We continue to, the end result is that capitalist, the way it works is that we have these shitty things happening and they produce great products and we buy those products and that incentivizes them to continue doing the shitty things. At some point that needs to break.
Yeah. A lot of people have been talking, like, I've got a couple of things. A lot of people have been like talking about, we need to change the gaming industry. I'm like, this is more than a gaming industry issue. Mm-hmm. This is the entire American capitalistic economical issue.
Yes, yeah. It's bigger than games.
Between art and business, which that's always been the issue with art and making money. Yeah. The other thing is, there's been these hundreds of people who have poured their lives into this, the last 5 years into it. Mm-hmm. They want people to play this game.
Yes.
Because like you pull 100-hour weeks, which apparently some people did and didn't do it. Mm-hmm. But like you pull those hours, you want people to see the horse testicles shrinking in the wind. Like you spend that time, and you want people to see it. And then there's just a complicated issue of like, hey, we put these work in because we want people to see the fruit of our effort. But yes, your problem of supporting the bad industry. Going back, like I've been listening a lot to this through Giant Bomb and Kind of Funny Games Daily. They've been talking about the historical aspects. Like with Red Dead Redemption 1, there was the Rockstar Wides incident, which was they were pulling 100-hour weeks, like everyone.
Yeah. And the EA spouse thing.
The spouse, that was 2004.
Yeah.
And then they're like, hey, we want to see our thing. Like, they went to Rockstar. And then apparently, like, this week, Rockstar's like, hey, everyone who works at Rockstar, you can finally talk about Rockstar on Twitter. And a lot of people are like, hey, I'm not doing 100 hours. I'm doing 50, 40-hour weeks. That's like some people. There's not too many accounts of people like, yeah, I'm doing 100-hour weeks. But then the people who are saying, I'm doing long hours, like, why don't I choose to... What was my other point? I just lost it. It's not forced. Fuck. Let's see if I wrote it down. No. Oh my god. But anyway, yeah. The people who aren't, they're not being forced to. Oh, and it's better than it used to be. Like, that's my other point, is that during people were saying during GTA 4, it felt like we were crunching with a gun to our head for like a year straight. Whereas they say, like, the long-term employees are saying, this is much better.
Yeah.
I think they're not saying it's perfect, but it is better. So my point from there is that Rockstar is getting better. And I think because they're having another shitty PR cycle about it,
they're going to have to get better.
GTA 6, 10 years from now, is going to be that much better from a Rockstar. But yes, there's a very systemic issue that...
But the other thing that and this comes from a small place of ignorance, I would think, for me, is just, you mentioned the horse testicles.
Yeah.
Why does that need to be in a game? Why? Who does that serve? Who does that benefit? Who in the gaming... Like, what... How is my experience playing Red Dead Redemption 2 bettered in any way because the horse testicles shrink in cold weather? Yeah. It doesn't. It doesn't make it any less better or like it adds more quote unquote realism to the world. I don't give a fuck. It's a cowboy simulator.
Yeah.
I could give two shits about that.
Yeah.
What I want is to be able to ride a horse and for that horse to not walk into trees and get stuck like it did last time.
Yeah.
That's what I want. Yeah. Did someone spend 100 hours working on that shit? Probably not. I'll bet you it's glitchy as fuck.
Yeah, because every horse is... There's too
and
many horses for it to be not buggy. Like I'm playing Assassin's Creed, and it is so like... It'll go...
And this is the thing. This is the issue, like another systemic issue that comes with gaming culture in general, is that if a game launches buggy, and there was something really cool, like, I don't know...
Dragon flying backwards.
No, I mean more like... what's an example I can give? If there's a game that launches really buggy, but let's say they had one unique mechanic in it.
Oh, yes.
So let's say for example it didn't, but let's say for example Middle-earth Shadow of War.
I was just thinking.
Or Shadow of Mordor.
Shadow of Mordor.
Well, let's go Mordor because War was bad. When that game launched, it had a really cool, fun Nemesis system, and it's an amazing system. I fucking love it, and I wish it was in more games. That game also launched fairly polished, but if it was buggy and the Nemesis system was what they were banking on, how quickly do you think people on the internet would be like, oh, they just took out the Nemesis system, this game would be fine? Like, there's always this part of the internet that's like, you worked on this part of the game over this other part of the game. Mass Effect Andromeda was a good example of people being like, you guys spent so much money on, other shit in this game. Yeah. You didn't get the fucking animation right.
Yeah.
And that part of the gaming culture is so quick to react when something is wrong with the game. But in this case, when there's something right with a game, how many people are going to sit there and go, why aren't these bugs fixed? Why did you spend 100 hours working on horse testicles instead of fixing the fundamental bugs with your game?
Yeah.
That's not going to happen. No one's going to sit there and make that comparison to it. And it's a real problem because, like I said, that thing doesn't create any extra...
immersion.
Yeah, in the game. I don't care about it. Like I said, does the horse walk in a straight line when I tell it to, and does it not bump into trees? That's all I give a shit about when it comes to the horse. So they've created this great dynamic world, but at what cost? And for what purpose?
Yeah.
Like, the game itself might be incredible, but there are all these ancillary things that, like I said, coming from a place of ignorance, I don't know what teams worked on that.
Yeah.
I don't know what the deviation is. I don't know whether the horse testicle thing actually took writers or people away from other departments to do. It probably didn't. They probably had a dedicated team. It was probably fine.
Yeah.
But that has been a problem with the gaming industry for so long, is that we don't know how the sausage is made. So whenever a problem arises, we blame the wrong people.
Yeah. Blame the wrong system.
Unless the game is fine.
Yeah.
And then we're like, well, you know, games are hard.
Yeah.
Ho-hum, what do?
Yeah.
If this game is incredible and we don't question why it couldn't be better or what things are wrong with it, and do the same comparisons we do with a buggy game where we're like, why did you spend so much time on this?
Yeah.
Like, if this game is buggy in any way, if those same people aren't saying, why did you spend so much time on the horse testicles and not on this, you're being disingenuous.
Yeah.
Because what you care about is what you care about at that point is end product and not the people working on it.
Yeah. This goes back to the Telltale situation where people were crying out for the game to be finished.
Oh, fuck
to be
off.
fair, there is a different situation because people did pay for that season pass. So
that one's messy.
That's what I was getting to. That is a messy,
Yeah.
but it's a similar thing as people want the end product. I think that's what I was agreeing with you
Yes.
on that, using another messy comparison.
No, yes, actually, I agree with you. 100% agree.
Yeah.
Like, the thing is, though, like, I get it, you bought a season... Like, it's messy because, yes, you bought a season pass, you expect to get the entire content. This company goes under.
Yeah.
I get it, but it's like buying a loaf of bread and then half of it goes off. There's not much you can do about that.
Yeah.
Like, I know...
And then blaming the farmer because
exactly.
it went off. Yeah.
You bought the whole loaf of bread, half of it went off, you didn't get the chance to eat the rest of it, but you still paid for the whole loaf of bread.
Yeah.
You still paid for the whole season pass. You're only getting half of it, and now you might get more of it, who knows.
Yeah.
But at that point, I think the problem that I still have with that was the fundamental reaction, which is, if you buy something like this and the company goes under and all that kind of stuff happens, your initial reaction shouldn't be, finish my fucking game for free, you cunts.
Yeah.
Your reaction should be, hey, can I have my money back then?
Yeah.
That should have been the thing of like, hey guys, like, is there are we doing a make good?
Yeah.
Do I get half my season pass back in cash because I'm not getting half of it? Like, what's the deal here?
Yeah.
That's what it should have been instead of finish my game.
Yeah.
That was the problem I had with that, because again, those people are justified in being angry, especially because this company, Telltale, seemingly was selling a season pass full knowing that their company was
The higher ups,
untenable.
yeah. I don't think the people who issued press the button to season pass.
No.
It seems like only 4 dudes that the company knew.
Yeah. But the higher level management of that company definitely had full knowledge that business was untenable, and they continued to allow the company to function as it did, knowing that they didn't have enough money in the bank to make good on it.
Yeah.
So that's a totally separate issue and a problem. And that whole thing with was it Skybound Games or whatever?
It's Skybound. It's Robert Kirkman's company.
Yeah.
Who created
Walking Dead.
Which I think is probably the best way to go about it, but they're trying to get as many Telltale employees back because we want them to finish their vision. And a PR guy came out and said we understand that people have moved, so if you're still in the Bay Area, we'll accept you, but if you've moved on,
but also it's
awesome.
Yeah, but also it's a contract, so it's not like it's going to be full-time employment. It's just finish this game. Honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if every single Telltale person
said fuck you.
Was I'm done with it.
It's probably the people who are just looking for a place because they haven't landed on their feet yet. They're like, fuck yes, I'll take this.
I hope they have. I hope you guys have.
Yeah.
Honestly, because that was fucking shitty.
Yeah.
And I know we don't know anything about it because we're in Australia. We have somewhat better workplace laws, but
because we have better workplace laws, we don't have any gaming companies here.
That's true. Well, we did. We had
until
2012,
and then they all closed, and then
we've got
they all moved to Canada.
We've got a couple of smaller ones.
Yeah, smaller ones, but
Blue Ant.
We had 2K. We had a Ubisoft. We had a THQ thing. Here.
We still have Gearbox.
Gearbox Australia.
Gearbox Australia, I think, is still a thing. They're not. They don't make their own games, but they're a support team. Yeah, they're a support team. I mean, they made the pre-sequel.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know about Gearbox Australia, so this is all news to me.
Oh, really? Yeah, no. Borderlands, the pre-sequel, was made pretty much in-house at Gearbox Australia.
Nice.
Yeah.
Cool.
It wasn't fantastic, but it was a full-fledged video game in a very popular franchise, so, good on them. But yeah, the Red Dead stuff has been...
So yeah, there's the internals of that. Then there's it's going to be 90 plus gigs of data.
Oh,
depending on what version you get. If it's the Pro and the X version, it's going to be 150.
Yeah.
And because of that, the discs are going to be maybe 2 discs.
Is it going to be 2 discs?
Yeah, there's been when you look on the case, it's 2 discs. Which is fucking, it makes sense because Blu-rays are 50 gigs. So if this is the 100 gig game, it's going to need 2 Blu-rays. which is something like people are freaking out. Like, oh my god! It's like, guys, we dealt with this.
We did this before.
Yeah.
The thing that I always heard though was that because there were games in the PS3 generation which were too big to fit on the Blu-ray, so they did like a download or partial download.
Yeah, I think this is just too big. Well, that's the thing.
Because the thing I heard was that the multiple disc system that we generated for like DVDs and
CDs
and CDs and stuff like that, but back in the PS1 and 2 generation, I heard that was just not feasible on a Blu-ray because of the way it ran. That you couldn't do the
multiple discs.
Yeah, you couldn't do the thing of like when you get to a certain point in the game, it says put in disc 2, unless this is all just install.
I don't know. Again, it hasn't been confirmed. Like, there's just been reports that they've seen a sticker on it, or like a logo that is 2 discs. But,
it might be the special edition or something like that. Maybe the Ultimate Edition has a secondary disc. I haven't read into what the special edition includes. Maybe there's a secondary disc with some special features on it or bonus content. I don't know.
We'll find out in a week. But yeah, people are already downloading their pre-install, and yeah, it's 100 gigs, which is good that they're letting people download it a week early.
Yeah.
For people who pre-ordered online, but
considering I heard the embargo on that thing is fucking hell.
I couldn't imagine.
Like, I've heard that it's one of the tightest embargoes ever. Like, in terms of like when
don't talk about anything.
Well, don't talk about not just that, but like shipping details and things like that of like when companies can actually start when companies actually are getting that stock into their warehouses,
which has affected independent stores. That's another thing I wrote down. Is that like a lot of independent stores aren't getting it for another 5-7 days later. Yeah. Which because they're afraid they're going to break street date, which is shitty. Because like there's a report that this guy is like he spent over the last 2 or 3 years, he spent like $3,000 on marketing to get out of his own wallet to get like pre-order Red Dead, you'll get it day of release, and then for him to get shafted on that, it's just like that's $3,000 down the drain. And I was expecting like $50,000 out of this shit.
Yeah, so these companies are really, really shitty when it comes to that kind of stuff. Like I know for the longest time, Pokemon would launch in the UK and Europe 5 days after the rest of the world. Because they never said it, but it was fairly obvious that it was because X and Y broke street date in Italy, I think it was. And ever since then, it was like every other subsequent Pokemon release was 5 days after, until Sun and Moon, I believe, was the one where they did a global release on the same date. And they're like, you can come along. So yeah, like gaming companies can be real shitty when it comes to street dates, real shitty, which is, I guess it's fair enough, because there's a part of me that's like, look, they're setting a launch date because this is when their servers go live as well. This is when they have the ability to give you all the stuff, like especially for multiplayer games. It's like that's the day that everything goes live, and if you were to get it before then, what's the fucking point?
Yeah, you're getting the copy that the reviewers are getting, which is now an outdated system. It's like, oh, you're getting it before the day one patch, so you're not going to have photo mode or New Game Plus or whatever.
Yeah, or any other thing.
Yeah, so it's this weird system where, and so you're not getting the game that they anticipate everyone getting.
Yeah.
Which, another reason is they might be delaying it to independent stores is because remember GTA 5 had those armed robberies where people just arming like stopping trucks to just take boxes of GTA 5.
Yeah, I forgot about that.
Yeah, so
GTA 5 was a fucking shit show.
I'm like, remember the probably security issue.
Yeah, there's that too. The other thing with but the thing with this is that I am curious as to see how this does numbers wise comparatively to GTA 5.
Well, I don't think it was ever going to do as well as GTA 5 just because GTA is such a recognisable brand, whereas Red Dead's only had one other game.
2 technically.
No one cares. No one knows about Revolver.
It's the best internet joke.
Yeah.
Red Dead Redemption 2. Well, actually, it's 3. No one cares. Shut up.
It's Red Dead 3. It's still Red Dead Redemption
2. Yeah.
But when people say Red Dead 1... I'm like, yeah, I do say it is Red Dead 2.
But the thing is, the thing that I've seen is that this thing is very much being pushed on, like, rocks. It's not really Red Dead Redemption. It's being pushed on. This is Rockstar's next game. Yeah, they haven't released a game in 5 years. Yeah. This is the one. I'm wondering...
Very Last of Us in terms of...
Yeah, based on what I've heard about that game, I think one of two things will happen to sort of your general person, like your casual audience. The people who have like 3 games, which is Call of Duty, GTA, and then maybe a FIFA. Those people may pick up Red Dead Redemption and they will have one of 2 reactions. One, which is, dude, there's nothing blows up. shit, nothing blows up.
Nothing blows up as rapidly.
Yeah, like
You'll
it's
still be able to blow shit up in that
Yeah.
game. It'll be fun.
But
yeah.
when you think about it, it's horse cart, it's old time guns. Like it's not
Yeah.
GTA. GTA is rapid explosions. You know,
Yeah.
it's a Fast and the Furious movie.
Yeah.
And they'll be like, shit, don't want it, duh," and then they'll take it back. The second thing that I think might happen is actually based on what I've heard from this game. I think it might just be too overwhelming.
Yeah.
I think
too
it
many
might be
systems, too much not guided enough.
and just too much game.
Yeah.
Like I've seen reports that the single player story is 65 hours.
That's
now
just-
I love me a JRPG,
Yeah.
but there
Holy
is
fuck.
there is a reason I like JRPGs is because for that 70 hours I'm playing that, there is one consistent through line of story arc that I want to see through.
Yeah.
With a game like Red Dead, that's 65 hours of me not really knowing what's going on and not really caring, and
It'll be interesting to see because
I
I'm straight up not buying Red Dead probably till next year because Assassin's Creed's got my time at the moment. I'm doing assignments. It comes out the day my final assignment is due.
Yeah.
So that's not happening.
Well,
and then Pokemon comes out, and then Smash comes out, and then Kingdom Hearts 3 comes out.
Yeah,
so
like-
I'm fucked for Red Dead.
Yeah, look, I'm just looking at it like this. Like, Red Dead's not something that I'm interested in. Hopefully, one of the other guys picks it up and wants to talk about it at some point. But it's just not something I'm interested in. I might pick it up at some point later on down the track, like I did with GTA. I picked it up like 2 years after it came out, gave it a shot, was like, this is all right. I can see why people like it.
Yeah.
Never touched it again.
I think that's like the only Rockstar game I finished. The only Rockstar games I've finished in terms of the story is Red Dead Redemption and Max Payne 3. Max Payne 3 is just a 10-hour linear game, so it doesn't really count. I like Red Dead. My point is that I forgot my point. But you go
It's two times.
2 times.
Like I won't be picking it up. So because like when I look at the way this launch season is going, like I've got Pokemon coming like 2 weeks after that, and I would prefer to play that.
Yeah.
There's nothing else in the middle there that I really care about. I don't think I'll be able to finish Red Dead Redemption in the time between then and Pokemon.
Yeah.
If I felt like I could do that, I might pick it up, but I don't think I will be able to.
I feel Pokemon's probably a good game to like. If you in your situation, Pokemon is good. Like that's what 50 hours at most.
Maybe 30.
Yeah.
Yeah, depends on how much the mechanics throw me for a loop. Like
Yeah.
if it's just like a couple of tweaks that I'm able to get used to, and then can plow through the rest of it like a regular Pokemon game. 30 hours I can knock that out pretty quickly.
I feel like and then Red Dead after that until February 22nd.
Well, the thing for me was that I'm not doing Red Dead this year because Pokemon launches on the 14th,
Yep.
and then on the 27th is Darksiders 3. And that is an
your
open
game. Yes, your Kingdom Hearts 3.
and that is an open world game, which appears to have been taking a little bit more from Dark Souls. So I'm intrigued as to how they're doing that. But my year's basically planned out. Then I'll get Smash, but that's not something I'm going to sit down and play. That's something I'm going to come up with friends and stuff
I'll
like that.
play so I can get good at it, and then
I'll play to unlock characters maybe,
Yeah.
but that won't take long.
Yeah.
And then then I'm pretty much set till Kingdom Hearts 3, which we should. I'm probably going to get some time off in January, hopefully. Maybe like a few days at least. We should set aside one to do our Keena explains Kingdom Hearts to everyone. So get started on that.
Okay.
Get ready for that.
I do want to do a drunk explain. So
Yeah, we're going to do that. I'm going to feed him tequila.
Oh, just vodka. That
And then he's going to explain Kingdom Hearts to me. Because I still don't get it, and I've played the main games and like a couple of other games, and that's about it. And I still don't get it.
it's silly.
Anyway,
Is there any other things about Rockstar?
not really.
I think that's it.
Yeah,
I thought they fucked up again today, but no.
they might have. Like honestly, like in the time.
I think it
that
was just the independent retail things.
Yeah.
Oh, Rockstar explicitly telling employees that overtime is optional. Like there's a story that came out like, you don't have to do this. We are on PR cleanup.
Yeah.
But yeah. Not just as messy, but still another messy story. We can finally change our PSN IDs.
Kind of.
Can we though?
Kind of.
Find out.
Sort of, and not yet.
No. Well, if you're in the beta program.
If you're in the preview program in November.
Okay. I thought you could do it now.
No, it's in the preview program in November, and then in early 2019 it'll be available for the rest of us. So,
We finally found out what 6.0 does. Sets up a bunch of stuff,
Well, yeah.
crossplay and name changes.
Yeah.
Instead of just bug fixes. But yeah, So, what I've written down, I'm just going to read it verbatim.
Mm-hmm.
During the preview, you'll be able to change your online ID as many times as you want. The first change is free, and changes after that will be probably $15 Australian, like based on the conversion rate.
Yeah.
For PS Plus members, it will cost $10 after the first change.
I'll say like 8.
8, yeah.
Yeah, $7.95 or something like that.
Yeah. Changes to online ID can be made through the settings menu or through the profile page on your PS4. Sounds simple so far.
Mm-hmm.
It's basically Xbox's system, which is a good system.
Yeah, it's a smart
work.
idea there. But
When you change your online ID, you will have the option to display your previous ID with your new ID, so your friends can recognize you. Once you decide to display your old ID or not, you won't be able to adjust this after completing your online ID change process. Red flags.
keep going.
This feature is compatible with PS4 games originally published after the 1st of April 2018, which is not long.
Oh yeah, God of War.
Yeah.
Keep going.
This is far back. And a large majority of the PS4 games that were released before, a large majority of the most played PS4 games that were released before this date. However, not all games in application for the PS4, PS3, and PS Vita are guaranteed to support this online change.
Keep
That's
going.
PSP erasure.
There's more.
And users may occasionally encounter issues or certain errors in games. If for any reason you experience issues after changing your ID, you can revert back to your ID for free at any time. You will only be able to revert once during the preview program. Reverting back to an old ID will resolve most issues caused by the ID change.
Most!
That's my favorite part of this PR release. In addition, when this feature officially launches, a list of compatible games published before April 1st, 2018 will be provided on PlayStation.com for reference before you make the change.
Thanks, Sony.
The preview program is concluded at the end of November. The rollout will happen early 2019, so stay tuned for updates.
What a fucking shit show.
It just explains how much of this shit show has been like since 2007 when they implemented this. Like,
You know what the solution is here?
don't change the name.
Yeah, don't change the name. Like, everybody just get over it and just leave it at that. But no, the solution here is launch
PSN 2.
Launch the next console generation. Rebuilt PSN from the ground up.
Yeah.
No tie into the old one, just brand new PSN, whatever software in the background they need to change, get that done.
Yeah.
The start of the generation, grab your PSN ID. You plug it into the new PSN system, and all it does, it doesn't grab anything else. It just grabs your game purchases, your save data, and your DLC purchases, just compiles them based on the ID that you put in, and then converts them and goes, okay, cool, you now own that on PS5.
Yep.
Make a new ID, and that's it. Just from then on, just cut it. Clean slate, just stop it there.
Yeah.
And then everything before PS4 just disappears and goes away, and it's a brand new PSN with the ability to change your names with that old system. Because this is the thing I was afraid of like, yeah, you can change your names, kind of, sort of, maybe also it might break your game.
Yeah.
That's what we've got. Because like, you may experience issues, and then if you do, you can revert back, and if you revert back, it will fix most problems. Which means there's a couple of things in there. If you haven't figured that out, it means there's a couple of things in there that if you revert back, it's still fucking broken.
Yeah.
How are they like? And also, they are doing a beta test for a name change.
Yeah.
That's how fucking broken this thing is. They have to beta test it because it might just break PSN entirely.
Yeah. Thanks, Japanese encoders who didn't think online was going to be the future of everything. That's why you didn't launch with online with the PS3. An online system. This is very much the mistakes of the past. However,
It's really coming back to bite them.
and this sucks that this is the best solution they could come up with. Like, they've been banging their head against the wall for the last
I hope that's
3
the
years.
case.
Yeah, I don't see how...
I hope that's the case because, again, we talked about this, I think it was the last podcast where I was...
They were rumoured at this point, yeah.
Well, we talked about how, like, crossplay was just a switch.
Yeah.
And they've been saying for years, like, it'd be difficult, yada, yada, yada. It's just a switch they can flip. And I'm just... it makes me sit there and go, is it actually that difficult? It sounds like it. Every report says that this thing is and
then this is evidence of it. Like this
it's just a tangled mess of and you know what I actually want more than the name change itself? Just tell me why it's broken. Like, I just want them to come out and be like, the reason PSN names can't be changed is because of this specific reason. Like, just tell me exactly what it is, why it is that changing a name will break the system this much. Just tell me why. Because once I know, I'm going to be like, fuck, that's... Because I kind of just want to laugh at it. I kind of just want to have that of like, really? Like, that's what you did? I just want to know. And then once I know, fine, I'll keep my old gamer tag. I'm happy with it. I just want to know, because they just like, it's difficult. How? Like, what is it doing? Is it... Because I've heard rumors that it's actually that some way the PSN is encoded, the gamer tag, the name tag is actually tied to your save data.
I've heard that.
Pulling it away from that breaks the saves. I haven't heard anything else, though.
I've heard that it's... Because it's all attached to the one ID, like you are stuck. Like friends code is a very applicable thing. They probably have their own codes attached to it, but they aren't separatable. Whereas you have your friend code on Nintendo, but you can go and change your name to whatever. Because but you just give away your friend code, which is stupid. Xbox has it in a way where you're attached to a code, but you can separate anything else below it. Like you are 9475 blah blah blah.
You're some
capital, because Microsoft knows what the internet is, knew what it was in 2004 or 5, whereas this is fucked.
It's insane. It's absolutely insane.
I feel sorry for the engineers that have been banging their head against the wall, and this is the best solution they can do. It's not botched. And for me, someone who wants to change my name, I don't need to, but I want to. I mean, it makes me scared too, because what if I want to go back and play? Like, I don't play many online games, but like at the moment, I'm considering going back to Assassin's Creed Unity, which is a weird thing for me to say because I didn't finish the DLC for it, because I'm the obsessionist and I need to finish everything. Assassin's Creed Unity has many online features.
That game is mostly online feature. I fucking hated it for that reason.
I played it offline and I couldn't do fucking anything on it. There's so many issues.
That game was the first game where I had like my iPad up with an app open and a map on it and all this icons, and I was looking at the map and then looking at the screen and then realizing this is fucking shit, and then turned it all off.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
But if I go back to Assassin's Creed Unity after I change my name, will I, like, that has online features, will I be able to complete that game? Like, will I be able to, will it be able to register that I've downloaded the DLC and I want to go back and finish that DLC? Like...
And like it's the little things as well of like it's all the most played, like it's the wording of this, the most played PS4 games, which means from before that day.
Battlefront,
your Destinies, but then like what about the, like, I would think that games like Rocket League will probably be in there and stuff like that, but then there's other indie games, like what about Towerfall Ascension?
Can't imagine the community's that strong around that anymore. Probably super tight-knit.
But the thing is, here's my question then. What data are they using for most played? Is it current players? Is it all time? Because Towerfall Ascension blew up in such a way that it was like fairly popular for a little bit there. Is it going to get the name change treatment?
It's probably,
even though no one's going to fucking
on
use
like
it.
What's going at the moment, because I can't imagine Call of Duty Original 4 is doing that great, and in a PS3 game. And
the thing with this is that I think at the end of all of it, I just want to see the bug list. Like, I want to know what the problems are. Like, is it that when you do the name change and then you go into that game that it breaks and my gamer tag just shows gibberish? Fine, whatever, I don't care. Or is it when I do the game, the name change and I go into the game, I literally cannot play it? Okay, that's a problem. And then... if I do the name change back, is it going to fix that problem? Like, is it going to fix the problems where you can't play the game anymore? That's the thing. I was like, I want to see the bug list, I want to see the fixes, and I want to see the problems.
I think this is one of those issues where, for me, I'll probably go on the reset error and then see that thread, forward it to you, and then wait. Because I feel continuous system updates will root out these bugs. Hopefully.
Like I said, if the bug list is too long and the thing is too scary, I'll just leave it because I would hope that they come up with something better for PSN on whatever the next PlayStation is. I would hope
they
that
need to, because if PSN is continuous and it lasts for, like, we get up to PS7 and it is, or just longer, if this is another 30-year thing and it's great and consoles are flourishing, blah, 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 PSN can't stay stuck like this. Everything else is mostly fine about that system now. It is a rival to Xbox Live, which is good, which is something you wouldn't say 10 years ago. Hopefully, like, this is the one feature. Every other platform in the world lets you change your name, even if you have to pay for it. This is a system that needs to.
I mean, Xbox used to let you do it for free, like
all the time.
Yeah, I think initially, like, out of the gate, it was like, yeah, no, if you need to change it, you can change it. And then at a certain point, people were just changing it too often. They're like, we need to gate this.
Yeah.
Because I think the problem they found was that if you were changing your name, your old name stayed, like, taken in the system for a little bit, and it was, like, flooding the market. It's like, there's too many names that are currently taken, so we need to find a way of stopping people from changing their name so often so that they're actually names people can use. And then I think they did a purge a while back as well, so that all those unused names got, removed from the system and all that kind of stuff. But then they put in, because I remember a couple of my friends changing their names a couple of times during high school, and they didn't have to pay for it. I think it was more of a recent thing. That's happening. And then I think they also changed the Xbox system so that once you change your name, the old name you had is immediately released, and you can get it. Anyone can pick that up immediately rather than having it sit in some sort of limbo for a while, which is good. But yeah, man, this name change stuff. Also, like, the merging it with your old name. What does that mean? Does that mean my new name and my old name pop, like, sit? Because
that's a forever decision.
And also that completely goes against the point of me changing my name in the first place. I don't want my old, like, if I'm changing my gamer tag, I don't want my old one there anymore. I want it gone. I want it erased from history. So having both there, that doesn't fucking work for me either.
The reasoning they give, like, so your friends recognize you, which I'm like, that's weird. Like, you don't change your icon when you change your name. Like,
because the thing is,
I realize if it's like not like personal friends for online friends, so that people can see that. But like
that makes
every
sense.
other fucking system realizes this, like Xbox, you can change your name, and no one's like, oh, you can have both your names.
Well, it's simple. When you look through your friends list, you realize that some names have changed, and you go into the profile like, oh, it's this person.
Yeah,
done. But the other thing is, like, at the launch of the PS4, they did the thing of, like, allowing you to display your actual name, which is another way you can just get around it. Like, there's just so much that's kind of rough about this thing that just this sucks so bad. I hope they figure out a way to fix it proper.
We need a PSN 2. And there's like even the download speeds can be improved. There's just so like this needs.
I said if they build a whole new PSN and just from the ground up, and then all it is just you just type in your old PSN name with your password, and then the new PSN just goes through your old list and just compiles all of the stuff you've ever purchased and just goes, cool, that's accessible on the new one because you've logged in with this data, and then it locks off your old account, and then you can create.
I don't even think you need to lock off. It's just like if you go back to the PS4.
It's more that I'm worried about, like, security and data breach on that, of like people just plugging in random names and getting accounts from other people. Like, you have to plug in your name with your password, and maybe not lock off, but some way that you can say, like, and that's it from me. Like, don't let anyone else access my shit. Just some sort of fraud system just to stop that would be nice. But yeah, just a way of being like, look, this is my old PSN account. Can you please grab all of the shit from it and then just put it onto this new one, and then that way the other one closes. Just, that's all it needs. Like, at this point, changing the name on this PSN system seems like it's too difficult. So just start again.
Yeah. God damn it.
All right. Speaking of bad Sony news, actually, no.
I think this is good news.
I don't care.
Yeah, Days Gone's been delayed to 26th of April, 2019.
Which makes sense. That's the launch window.
Yep.
That's the Sony Prestige title launch window.
God of War came out, and that did gangbusters. So
yeah, because Days Gone's going to go gangbusters.
It's better position than 22nd of February.
I mean, it is, but and I believe we're going to go back and check. I'm going to go back and check, but I'm pretty sure I predicted that Days Gone would blink. Yeah. That Days Gone would be the one. It was either that or Metro, I think I said.
I don't remember. I
Because
remember
Days
making
Gone.
the argument that either that or Metro were like, no, we chose this. This is like our date. I want to say it was Days Gone.
Because it was
we
Days.
always launched in March, and we're not going to blink, and then they did.
Because it was Days Gone, Anthem, Metro.
And another game.
There's another game as well.
And then there's DMC5 a week after that. There's Division around
that are
there
all
somewhere.
launching in there. And I remember thinking that Anthem won't budge because it's EA and they don't give a fuck. And I remember thinking that Sony might budge because that Days Gone is not getting good publicity. Like, people are very much
Ho-hum about it.
yeah. There's nothing bad to say about it. Everyone's just like nah.
Yeah.
So I remember thinking they might budge. I remember also thinking that Metro might, only because they don't give a fuck. They don't care either way.
Yeah.
They're like, if we need an extra... Their reason for moving off of that date would be more like, we needed an extra 3 months to finish this. And if we're going to need 3 months, we're going to take the 3 months. They don't care about that stuff.
Yeah.
Whereas Sony, and I guarantee you they're going to spin it. I was like, we just needed extra time. And I get so sick of...
Well, they straight up came out and said, we recently decided to move the release date of Days Gone from the crowded February release time frame.
Oh, they said crowded. Okay.
Yeah. But they very much point out and say, this is the issue, and it allows us to polish it more. Like, they're being honest about it. Like, way more honest and like, it just needs more time. Like...
It drives me insane.
No, it's fucking... Like, when Arkham Knight was delayed like 3 months after its release date.
Yeah.
Like... What the fuck happened that you realized 3 months later that you needed to delay it? Like, that was ridiculous.
It always drives me nuts when companies push back a game by a few weeks and they're like, it's to finish off the game and give it more polish. I'm like, what possibly could you do in that time?
Yeah.
Like, that thing's got to be on discs pretty soon. Like, what the fuck are you doing?
Yeah. Yeah, it's weird.
Days Gone is delayed. Great, it's in April. That gives me more time to, I don't know, play something else.
Anthem.
Well, I probably will. I'll probably play Anthem.
Yeah,
like, honestly,
I think that's my February 22nd game.
Yeah.
And then DMC5 the next week. I can balance those two games.
Yeah. I mean, Anthem's an online game. You'll be playing it with friends. That's probably the best way to do it. So, yeah.
And then we have 2 cloud announcements.
Yeah.
Clouds are getting heavy. So Microsoft announced Project X Cloud, which is... It's a thing.
They just gave a name to the thing that we knew they were already doing.
Yeah.
They're doing a streaming service. Yay!
Yeah.
It's called xCloud. Boo.
Yeah.
It's a bad name.
It's Xbox, X Cloud, keeps on the X brand, X Games.
On the X. Yeah, X-Bone on the X brand.
I'm not enthused because my internet's shit. But I don't know, it's gonna get better one day.
I mean, the thing
one day
was-
I'll move to a house with NBN in it.
The thing was with the Google one specifically, they were targeting, was it 10 megabits, which is not
Which
crazy.
is what I got 7 to 8 on a good day.
I mean, all you need, looking at these things is that they look like they're trying to design them in such a way that you don't need to have gigabit internet to make it to work. You can have a stock standard ADSL connection and it will work fine.
Yeah.
Which
is crazy
cool.
because like you can stream 1080p Netflix that way, which is good. Like Netflix has got their code down so that you, like for a couple of seconds it'll be like 144p and then give boom. Like that's just great network coding.
The net code is great.
Google seems to have done because all the reports about AC Odyssey through Project Stream seem to be pretty good. Like people like if I haven't played the console version, I wouldn't notice like too much of a difference, and the people who have played the console version, like it's like a milliseconds different, like it's not noticeable, and like well done Google, like
you just playing
Assassin's Creed Odyssey is a fucking huge game,
and you just
like super twitchy, like I'm playing it fairly twitchy because I'm playing it on hard, but it's not Black Ops, like where you need preciseness,
and you're just playing it through Chrome as far as I can tell,
in the next tab,
just in the Chrome browser. That's insane.
Which is also insane because Chrome's getting real heavy at the moment. So,
I mean, it's a cool idea. Based on numbers, previous generation, the fact that most companies are basically saying they're working on the next generation, I don't see it taking off yet. I don't see a reason for it just yet.
I see it as like a secondary option. Like Games Pass is probably the first version. Like you have Games Pass, you can stream it instead of having to wait to download it. You can maybe download it while it's streaming, which was the original plan with PS4. Do you remember that?
Yeah,
but that never happened.
no. I mean, and that's the thing is that is the problem. That is where the problem with bandwidth comes in. Being able to stream it while you're downloading it, that's where bandwidth is going to be the real bottleneck there. But being able to stream it in a browser.
And people, like the report saying, like, the recommended thing that Google says, like, make sure no one else is on the internet, make sure that it's the only thing. But people have been playing it, like, when their sisters and their mum were also on the internet watching Netflix, and they were streaming their own thing, and it was working fine.
Yeah.
The enthusiasm is that's fine. Like, this needs to get better than fine. It needs to get, holy shit, it's like I'm playing it in real life. Like, it needs to get, like, Netflix, unless you have the keenest eye, there is no difference between Netflix and a Blu-ray disc. Like, I think the only real difference is...
Oh, really? I notice a difference.
Okay, I don't have a good TV. Like,
I'm not one of those people that's super into resolution, that's like, oh, yeah, 4K, like, I could give a shit, but Netflix does have a noticeable quality drop from Blu-ray, I think.
Yeah.
I really like the way a Blu-ray looks, and, like, personally. There's a noticeable difference, but also, like, Netflix stuff for the most part. I think the only reason I've ever noticed it is because I happen to have a Blu-ray disc of a movie that was on Netflix for a while, which was Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah.
And there's a noticeable difference.
Okay. I don't think I've ever compared it. Like, the closest I've done is, like, compare the starting of Hot Fuzz, and I don't think that's a demanding resolution thing.
Like, the Guardians of the Galaxy stuff was noticeable. And also sound quality.
Yeah, that was what I was going to get to.
Yeah.
See, Blu-ray, you're always going to get the best sound through that, which is interesting. Like, whenever I think of Blu-ray sound, I always think of, like, Square Enix releasing their soundtracks on Blu-rays, which is interesting.
But yeah, you get a better sound quality in there. But, like, again, when it comes to this kind of stuff, it's not the... Like, what is the question is always for me, what is the end goal here? Are we looking to get all games onto this platform? Are we looking to get some games? Are we looking to get developers who specifically develop for this technology?
That's
like,
an interesting one, yeah.
What are we looking at here?
I think it's going to be what Netflix is. It provides a cheap, easy alternative, subscription base, which you have your issues with. My point being is that it's just another thing. Like, Netflix exists and Blu-rays exist. You'll be able to get your 4K version of Assassin's Creed, whatever the next game is, and you'll be able to. But if you don't want to spend that much money on a physical media or even a download, you can get it that way.
My question there then would be, especially recently, there's been a lot of reporting about how the proliferation of these subscription services, Amazon Prime, Netflix, Stan, Hulu, all that kind of stuff, has led to a lot of exclusives, like, Netflix originals and Stan-only properties and things that are only on Amazon Prime and all that kind of stuff. People have realized that they don't want to subscribe to all 5 of them, and piracy has started to go up again.
I've seen those reports.
Yeah. So my question to the game industry then is that, like, they've done their best to try and curb piracy on video games for a long time, because it was a very big problem, especially for consoles like the Dreamcast, which was just a pirate's dream.
Yeah. PSP was very similar.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is like, if a person then suddenly, because, like, even currently being a person who has their full-time hobby being video games, it's quite difficult, because you've got to have a PlayStation, an Xbox, a Switch, and possibly a PC.
Yeah.
And then all of the associated stuff that goes with that. So you've got to have Xbox Live, PlayStation Plus, maybe Nintendo Switch Online, maybe depending on what you're doing. But then you do also need to have, like, depending on the games you're playing, all the microtransactions that go along with that, all the little bits and bobs on the side. With Xbox, now it's not just Xbox Live, but it's Game Pass as well on top of that. And then there's the upkeep of just buying the straight-up video games. Get all that, and then add another subscription service on top of it for a streaming version of video games that you could play in 1080p on your PC anyway. I just don't see the market for it right now.
It depends on, I think it is dependent on how it goes, because PlayStation has PS Now, which is already their streaming service. It's not the best,
which is now a download service. It's it's basically Game Pass now.
Yeah, I think Game Pass and PS Now can can become those streaming services. Like I think the you'll just pay for those services to stream wherever you want. I cannot see adding another subscription on top of that, because having 2 subscriptions for one console is too much, and then when you add, it's just ridiculous.
But that's the thing that I worry about, is that what's this going to look like? Like, for my money, what this turns into is that Xbox All Access stuff, where you pay a single fee and get not only the subscription services, but the console as well on top of that. Yeah. That's what that turns into. And then it turns into, like I was saying last time, it's a phone plan.
Yeah.
You have a base price for the console per month, and then you go to a place and they're like, do you want Xbox Live, Game Pass, and streaming? Yes, okay, cool. That's, $22, $27, $32 a month for your Xbox as you go up the chain and get more stuff. Then do you want insurance? Do you want this? Do you want that? Would you like a second controller? Yeah. Like, I can add all that shit on top.
Do you want PlayStation VR? Do you want...
Exactly. Yeah. Do you want an S or an X? All that kind of stuff on top of it. And it turns into a phone plan, which is a fucking nightmare. Yeah. Like, that's the darkest timeline.
I think it's a timeline. Like, I definitely see it.
It's a timeline. Sure.
I see the positives for it, because, like, as someone who is strapped for cash, maybe a payment plan like, I just pay $20 a month and I get all these services is great.
I think it's again, this goes back, and this kind of wraps back around to the sort of top of the show topics. When the PlayStation 4 was announced, I immediately went to an EB Games, placed a $50 deposit on there, and it was like March, I believe they announced it.
Yes, February. It was a February event, yeah.
For the launch in November.
Yes.
I went in every couple of weeks and put an extra 20, 30, whatever I had spare on that, and paid it off. Yeah. By the time the console launched, I had it ready to go. Yeah. As long as the manufacturer gives me enough time in advance for the new system, I can do that. I can pay you off before the thing comes out. But we live in this world now where everything's got to be now. I want it now. So $0 up front becomes the option.
Yeah.
That's a bigger global problem. That is an economic, social issue, like, about what the nature of consuming products is and how we do that. Why the world is currently in just credit card debt for days. Yeah. Because we have to have it now, and we can't wait and save and purchase these things in big straps, like big blocks of cash. Yeah. Like, a lot of people use Afterpay. I don't. I save my money and I purchase the thing up front.
That's how I go about it.
Yeah, I purchase the thing up front. I don't want to be tied to that kind of stuff if I can help it. Yeah. There are certain purchases you can't. A house, a car. You need to do that stuff. But for Xboxes, PlayStations, that kind of stuff, I don't want to be in a payment plan. Yeah. I want to own the goddamn thing.
And that's the thing, like, that's a you thing, like, but like, people are willing to be in subscription, and like, you aren't, like, we are dialed in, like, we know the release date for the PS4 when that came out. We don't know it off the top, but we knew when it was coming up. People who are just getting into the PS4 or even Xbox now are just like, I want one, but they're too expensive. $20 a month, I can do that. I'll just cancel Netflix. Well, maybe they don't even have to cancel anything.
No, but the thing is, my concern is that it will force me into that.
Because that there won't be any other option. Because you can buy an iPhone outright. So.
No, but the thing is, that was what I was going to say. Think about the way phones used to be. When I first got a phone, I paid $120 for my phone, and it did everything I needed it to do.
Okay.
It was like one of those old Motorola pieces of shit. And back then they didn't release a phone every year. The companies were releasing about 5 or 6 different phones at once, and they just let them sit for a while, and then they maybe do a little bit of an upgrade. But you didn't have to put them on a plan. Yeah. You could buy them outright because they were within a price range that was reasonable to do. They were around a console price. Like, high-end phones were $300-$400, low-end phones like $50. Yeah. At a certain point, though, phones went up in price because they were doing computers. Yes, because they were doing more things. So a phone's price is now, the $600, $700, $800, $900. The X is over $1,000.
Even in America.
It's untenable for me to buy a phone outright every 12 months. Even though I would like to just own my phone. Yeah. It's not serviceable. Yeah. My concern is that if the consoles go that same direction, they can then start to jack the price up on the actual console itself, and the consoles do cost $1,000 outright, or $30 a month.
Yeah,
like
Yeah.
That's my concern, is that they will move into a situation where, just like with the phones, I was prepaid for a long time, but at a certain point, I needed the phone to do a certain thing, and me buying a prepaid phone wasn't going to work. I needed to get a plan. And so now I'm stuck with plans because I can't afford $900 for my new phone, but I can afford $100 a month.
Yeah.
So that's my concern.
I think that's like a way down the future, like a 20 years down the future. Like, I don't see that happening in PS5 or even PS6 generation. I can see it happen within 10 years. I can see it happening, but
if the all access thing works. If it doesn't work, it doesn't do the thing, then it's not going to get off the ground.
Yeah.
But if it works, just like phone plans,
yeah.
If it works and people latch onto it, it's just like I said, within 10 years, it became like, oh, everyone's on a plan. Who does prepaid anymore?
Yeah.
Everyone's on a plan. If it works within 10 years, I can see them being like, no one owns a console. Everyone's just on plans. Yeah. And
that's the issue with, at the moment, the lease that Microsoft has is by the end of that 2 years, you will own all those things. Yeah. And that's kind of how phones work. Like, after your 2-year plan, you own that phone, but then...
But the thing is, they've changed it now again, is that, like, it used to be, like, phone plans were specifically, you pay it off after 2 years, you own that phone, and then you can do whatever you want with it.
And then you can just pay for the services.
Exactly, and the phone thing comes off. But then at a certain point, people wanted to upgrade so frequently that you would be paying for 12 months and then you'd have to pay the rest of the phone out at the end of that time, and then it was costing you, hundreds of dollars every year. So instead now all the companies have these leasing programs where you don't own the phone at all. I don't own this phone. I never will.
Okay.
After 12 months I can give it back to them and pay $100 and get a new one, or after 24 months I can just hand it back to them and get a whole new one for free.
Yeah.
But I don't own this phone.
I didn't know that was the update because last time I checked in and got a phone, which is
you can do either. You can do either.
Okay.
But leasing it out is cheaper per month.
Yeah. Interesting. Okay.
And all that kind of stuff. So eventually, and that's just because of the nature of the way phones are upgrading. Because contracts are 2 years, phone cycles are 1.
But then the big upgrade is every 2 years. Like, you have the S middle ground. Well, yeah.
Yeah, but there are people out there that want the new phone every year, and that's what they did. They designed a system where the contracts in the retail market lock you in for 2 years. The industry is moving at a faster pace, so in order to keep up with it, you've got to come up with something new. And so their new thing was, well, you sign a contract for 2 years, but we'll let you lease the phone, and that way in 12 months you can break the contract and get a new one, and we still get money off of you, and you get a new phone.
Yeah.
And that's the thing that concerns me about the future of it, is like, I like owning my console. I know that's a weird thing, like it's a weird me thing.
No, I get that. I do too, but like I also see the benefits of, like, if I got a PS5 and it came with PSVR 2, 2 controllers, blah, blah, blah. And like by the end of it, like if it was a lease situation, by the end of it, I got to own it, I would probably do that.
Yeah.
But like, if that was like, for me, that would be the big model. Like, that would be like, I don't know, a 2 terabyte.
Yeah.
Like in that system, and I would pay the $30 a month at that point. But then, at the moment, we aren't in the system of every 2 years we get a new console. Where every 3 years, because that's when the S and the Pro came out. Yeah. And that's a little bit, might step up there. I don't know.
My thought is still just like, if they give us enough, like if they're not doing a fucking... was it the Sega Saturn?
Saturn, yeah. They're not gonna,
yeah, it's out now. Like, as long as they give us, like, I think the PS4 was perfect. They gave us announced at the start of the year, launch at the end of the year. I had so much time to pay that thing off. Yeah. And it was good for me because every time I went in to pay off that console, I went and bought another game for the PS3 that I had. Yeah. Because I was like, I'm here anyway, I might as well buy another game.
Yeah.
And it got me so hyped going in and paying a little bit more and being like, how much have I got left to pay? $100. Oh, sweet. Like, and just getting it done.
Yeah.
And so as long as they give you enough time, because that was the thing with the Xbox One. Had the Xbox One been announced at the same time? Because I'm pretty sure it was
2 months later.
It was 2 months later.
I can't remember. No. 2 months later or 2 months before E3. I think it was 6 weeks before E3.
Yeah, because it wasn't that far off of E3.
No,
it wasn't that far off. Because I remember thinking when they announced the one, I was like, I would probably get that one as well because I've never started the generation with both systems, and I would like to because I got a 360 way too late.
Yeah,
I would like to start off. I was like, I would probably have gotten that if they had announced earlier. But
Yeah.
between now and then, and given the fucking price point on that thing, I wasn't going to be able to pay it off in time.
Yeah.
So I was like, well, I'll just focus on the PS4. If they both give me enough time, it can be done.
Yeah.
But, that's to each their own.
Yeah.
We'll see what the streaming stuff means for the future as we get closer
As long
to
as there's options, that's good. But if it does go the way of the phone market, where it pretty much forcing you out of any options instead of just like, hey, we own the phone forever, like the housing system sort of thing.
Yeah.
Or even cars. Oh, cars are very different. But if it's forced to this particular model, I think gamers are very conservative, and I don't think we'll move towards. But we also tech, so we also love new stuff.
Yeah. We love new stuff, but also the thing is, like, it depends on the market you're trying to target. Because what I think it will do is it will further the divide in the marketplace, which is at the moment you've got the spectrum of console owners.
Mm-hmm.
On one end, you've got the people who love the consoles and will go.
They have the X, they have the Pro.
They have the X, they have the Pro. They have all the latest hardware. They pick up all the latest controllers. They have probably a VR, possibly a couple extra stuff. Might have even picked up the Kinect version of the Xbox when it first came out. They're always on the cutting edge. Yeah. They're the guys that always pre-order stuff and always pick it up day one launch.
I wish
That's
I was
those
that
guys.
guy.
Yeah, I wish I was that guy. Then you've got down the other end of the spectrum as the people who pick up a console maybe a year or two into the cycle. Maybe they picked it up on launch as well, but they don't care.
I feel I feel that's like that, and then the further end of the extension where they sort of get it like when the price is real low, and then they get all this awesome stuff at they get all these awesome games, and then they slowly chug through that, and then when like the PS4 dying down, they'll get the PS4 when the PS5 is coming out. Like they'll just there's still people on PS3.
They're kind of offset, but they tend to be the general casual audience of like when the deal is right, when the price is right, when enough games have come out and there's the tipping point, they'll go in and pick up a console of their choosing, whichever they want, and they'll tend to lean with their friends, but they're down the casual end of the spectrum. Somewhere in the middle is this sort of bridging gap between the two. The people who love games, love consoles, and they tend to be the people I've found who are super into games, and you consistently hear them say, I want to get a PC. Those are the people that I think this streaming stuff and all the plans and all this kind of stuff, these are the people that it will split them. Because you'll get enough of them who go, well, fuck it, I'll just get that PC I've always wanted, and they'll go that way. And the other ones will go, well, I still can't afford that PC I want, so I'm going to stick with the consoles. And you'll split them down the middle. Whereas the console junkies will stay as the console junkies. But even those console junkies will start to split as well, because some of them will be like, no, fuck you, I don't want to plan, I want to own my console, god damn it, and they'll just go to PC. The casual people will probably just all stay. But you'll get that split again and that worries me, because you further divide the market again. Anyone in business will tell you dividing the market doesn't help. If you're continually splitting the market in two and not growing the market, that's the problem. Because it's essentially on a large scale what happened to Toys to Life. Because Skylanders comes out of the gate, blows everyone away. They fucking love it. It's amazing. This huge thing just goes out of the water. Disney looks at that and goes, we can do that. They make it. No one new buys Disney Infinity. The Skylanders people buy Disney Infinity.
Do they?
Yeah. Basically, they I think they came out with actual numbers. It was saying, like, this was the numbers of people who bought Skylanders. These were the numbers of people who bought Disney Infinity. And for the most part, the two overlap. No new customers were created. Every time a new Toys to Life thing came out, it just ate into Skylanders' market base. Because people went, well, I don't want to buy Skylanders anymore. I want to buy this thing.
Because they're IPs.
Exactly.
There was only Spyro, and that was a fucked up version of Spyro.
Yes, it was. And then Amiibo comes out, and then all these other things, and now we've got Starlink.
See how that goes.
Well, you don't need the toys.
No, exactly.
They figured that out. They were like, no, you can get digital versions of this shit, so fuck it. But what happened to Toys to Life was that they had this big pool, this big market, and every time a new person came in to compete, they didn't grow the market. It was just the same, let's say you had 100 people buying.
Yeah.
You didn't suddenly get 150 people buying 2 products. You had the same 100 people now buying 2 products.
Yeah.
So each of them gets 50, the market halves.
Yeah.
And that's the problem. You don't want to continually halve your market. You want to grow it and get it bigger.
I think that's what they're hoping for instead of dividing in terms of giving options, but creates more.
The plan
audience.
thing might grow the market. I would hope it does. Because honestly, the more mainstream video games get, the more acceptance we have, the less difficult it is to have R18 plus games that are actually worth a damn. The easier it is to actually have people agree with the idea that games are art and yada yada yada. And the better games we get.
Yeah, because then more people are funding the games, and we get better games, then we can have testicles shrink in the wind.
We can have testicles shrink in the wind and our employees paid.
Yeah.
Now that
That's the goal.
That is utopia.
I want a t-shirt of that. Balls shrinking in the wind.
Be one of those hologram ones that actually moves and changes.
I've never seen that on a shirt before, but that's fucking amazing.
Yeah, I've seen those on the shirts. They're great. All right, we'll wrap it up there. Thanks so much for listening, guys, and watching, I guess. Watching. Remember to check out the Amalgam Show, where we talk about pop cultural things we care about later on. Support us on Patreon at patreon.com/Amalgam Show, where you can listen to Amalgam Archaeology, first part, Final Fantasies 1, 2, and 3. If you have any questions for the show, please leave a comment or email us at amalgamshow@gmail.com, or like and subscribe as well for the funsies stuff.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for joining us. We'll see you next week or fortnight.
Bye.
Bye.